Hi there, this is Terry from Stamping Magic. Welcome back to my channel. Today's project is a card box. It will hold a 6-inch square card, and the card can also be very dimensional, like this one. The box is 7/8 of an inch deep, which is about 2¼ centimeters. I used some of the 6-inch Subtles paper stack to decorate this one, as well as the Above the Clouds stamp set. The one I'm going to make today will coordinate with this card, and I'll use some of the Bird Ballad papers. So let's get started. These are all the measurements you need for the various elements required to create this project. So if you're interested in reproducing it, you can take a screenshot and refer to it later. I have 2 squares of crumb cake cardstock here, and there's just a 1/16 of an inch difference in size between them. The larger one is for the lid, the smaller one is for the base. Now I'm going to score each of these on all sides at 7/8 of an inch. For the lid piece, I'm going to mark the center point on 2 opposite sides. Then, using the 1-inch circle punch, I'm going to punch a part circle from each of those edges. And this will just help you take the lid off the box. You want to create a tab on each corner, and you'll do this by cutting up the score line to the horizontal score line, and then you just want to slant cut each side of that tab, and this will just help your box come together a little neater when we glue it. Now you want to repeat this for each of the 4 corners. You then want to do exactly the same for the base of your box. Just create a tab on each of the corners. You can then go ahead and fold on all the score lines and burnish the folds with your bone folder. Do this for both pieces. Next, we're going to put this box together. So I'm going to add glue to each corner tab in turn, and then position it onto the adjacent side section. As you position each corner, make sure that the corner stays completely square. You can now place your card inside and add the lid, and that's the basic box complete. All we need to do now is decorate. I'm using Memento Tuxedo Black ink to stamp the tag. This is the Above the Clouds stamp set. I'm going to use the trio of balloons and the little bird images. Now I want to stamp my balloons centrally onto my Whisper White, and then I'm going to do a little sponging. I'm using Pool Party ink. I'm picking up ink with my sponge and then lightly applying it all around the balloon images. I'm not covering the whole thing, I'm going to leave some white space. When this panel's complete, I'm hoping that it will resemble either a cloudy sky, or at the very least there'll be a lovely highlight around the balloon images. Once the sponging's complete, you can stamp your birds. I'm using a 3-step process to colour my image. Now I'm starting with the light blends marker, then adding a little depth with the darker marker, and finally going in again with the lighter one to blend the two tones together. Now I'm using this same process for each of the colours. The colours I'm using in the order that they're being used are Calypso Coral, Old Olive, Petal Pink, Daffodil Delight, Pool Party, and finally Crumb Cake. That's just for the little baskets. I'm now going to run this through my die cutting machine with the subtle embossing folder. The top of the crumb cake piece that's going to be used for the tag is going to be punched with the Delightful Tag Topper Punch, but you can use any tag topper punch to do this. The image panel can then be layered onto this tag. I'm using some of the polka dot tulle ribbon for the end of the tag. I'm just going to fold it in half, then thread the loop through the hole front to back, open up the loop and thread the ends through, and then you just want to pull it tight. Now when you do this you want to be very careful. There isn't much slip on this ribbon, it catches in the netting. So just be careful when you pull it so you don't tear the cardstock. And then when you've got it through and tightened, you can trim your ends. I'm going to add a bow to the front of the tag, and I'm using some of our braided linen trim to do this. Now this is just a simple bunny ear bow, so I make 2 loops with the thread and then tie them together, left over right and through, and then I'm going to position it using a glue dot. You can then add dimensionals to the back of this tag. I've got 2 pieces of our Bird Ballad Designer Series paper here. I'm going to layer them each on their respective mats. The smaller one will go on a crumb cake mat and the larger one will go on a Whisper White mat. Apologies for the glare on the right hand side. I do manage to get rid of this in a minute, so bear with me. The smaller panel can then be positioned across the middle of the larger one. Then this whole section can be added to the top of the box. Unfortunately, my camera cut out at this point and I didn't film the adding of the panel to the top of the box, so it's done. You can then position the tag. So remove the backings from the dimensionals and then position it where you want it to be. And that's it, we're all finished. So a very pretty box to hold a very pretty card. And here's my original one. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this project. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notifications bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. Bye for now.